All right, let's get this thing going. We got Lions and Rams on Sunday, America's game of the week. What's the storyline of this game that isn't the same tired, played out Matthew Stafford storyline? John, what is the real story when the Lions play the Rams?
I think, there's so many that you could pick from, and there's a lot of great ones. But to me, this is going to come down to how many times did we talk about, and you brought it up earlier in the week, Sean McVay. Or that was actually me, was in a Thursday touchdown. Is he the second best coach in the NFL? Where does Dan Campbell fall? This, to me, is a Dan Campbell game. And yes, I understand the players are going to have to go out there and execute. But what's the game plan that's in place? How are you going to put your players in advantageous positions to make plays? And it's how are you going to free up Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, and Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, all of the playmakers. How are you going to free them up to get the ball in space and make plays? How are you going to allow that offensive line the opportunity at success? Yes, throughout the course of the game, you're going to have to go one-on-one with the individual across from you and win your matchup. But if you're trying to create and put guys in position to be successful, you can create angles. And you could take tendencies of how's the defense going to line up against this personnel group on this hash, this part of the field, down and distance, all of those different things you take into account when you put your personnel on the field. When you go in motion, are they going to line up one way with Jahmyr Gibbs at the backfield or another way with David Montgomery? Some of those you learn throughout the course of the game, but it's going to come down to the sequencing of plays and putting guys in position to be successful. Because do I think if Cologne is in there at guard that he's going to win every one-on-one battle? No. Same thing with Miles Frazier. Do I think he's going to win every one-on-one battle? No. I like some of the things I saw. So what are the angles that he's best at? Can we manufacture the look that gives him the best chance to get a win? It's not going to happen on every play.
Right.
But the more times that you can do that, you give your team and your guys the chance at success.
So you think this has to be a Dan Campbell X-Factor game?
I think a lot of it does come down. Now, some of that is what's going on throughout the course of the week. You can't have those pre-snap penalties where, a receiver's lined up off the ball, is supposed to be on the ball. And, if Amon-Ra St. Brown goes down and you got two guys in there that aren't running their normal positions, you've got to make sure that they're all coached up. Now, we hope Amon-Ra St. Brown's ankle is 100% healed. Right? That's not the case.
Right.
But we do believe he'll be out there.
He said he's put it behind him.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. That's the mentality you have to have.
Yeah.
And everybody loves him for it. But it's when you have to be so dialed into this game plan, because if you stall out on 3rd and 3 and you got the perfect play called, but then somebody lines up wrong.
Right.
And you convert, but then, hey, ball's called back because of illegal formation. Now it's 3rd and 8.
Killer.
You're beating yourself. This is a game where everything's got to be so buttoned up and so tight that you don't beat yourself. Doesn't mean you're going to win the game, but you can't beat yourself.
As I try to set this scene for Sunday, the Stafford thing is such a small speck of a storyline. If it's still blowing up your group chat all these years later, try to knock some sense into your friends. Because to me, this is so much bigger than the quarterbacks who have each played one another in playoff games and in LA and in Detroit. The storyline to me is proving ground. Contender/pretender. Here in Detroit, I view this game as proving ground. You got to prove you can beat good defenses. Detroit has played 5 games this year against defenses in the top half of the league. They're 0-5. They've run for 3.3 yards per carry, and Goff has been sacked an average of 3 times per game. Prove it. Prove that you can beat the good defenses. Prove that if you get in the playoffs, you could do something about it. Prove you can even get in the playoffs. Prove you can win back-to-back games. Proving ground. If you win, we start to craft the conversation about contender. You go out and beat the best team in football at their house, we can start to craft the conversation about being a contender. If you lose, you are the definition of a pretender. You beat the bad teams, but you can't go on consistent runs, and you can't beat the good teams. You aren't the football team you used to be. The flashes aren't sustainable. You're a pretender. 248-539-9797. Do they win this game? I don't think they win the game. John, do they win this game?
I already said in the picks. I picked the Lions because I think they'll keep it close. I don't think they'll lose by 5.5.
Yeah.
Really hard to lose by a half point, but you know what I mean. But I just, when I look at the Rams and I look at an MVP favorite at the quarterback position, and Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, the two-headed monster in the backfield, like you're going to have to play a near perfect game even have a chance.
The only time the Rams have lost in the last 2 months was a cross-country game in Carolina where they had several turnovers. I don't know that Kirby Joseph's playing. Hoping to get good news, that he'll make his first appearance since the Kansas City game.
Reported he did not practice yesterday.
I know, and today will be a big day to see if he's out there. He was limited early in the week, and we know he's dealing with something. That knee it's got wear in the knee.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same. If he doesn't play, you're out your top two safeties against the MVP favorite Matthew Stafford. If he does play, maybe he can steal a turnover and get yourself into the football game. But my bigger concern is, I think Stafford's going to score some points. Can Detroit keep up against one of the best defenses in football? Top 10 against the run, top 10 in sacks, top 10 on third down. The answer this season has been emphatically no, they can't. So, proving ground. Show me. Show everybody. Give people something to sink their teeth into in the month of December to believe in this team. Let's get to the phones. Jim and Macomb, you're on 97.1.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. So everything you guys are saying is right. But here's one thing that you were talking about. What's the X factor? Everyone that you guys are talking about, you say it's going to be a close game. For that reason, I believe the X factor is Dan Campbell, when you can get points, take the points. Don't do silly fourth down conversions when you don't need to on your own end. Let your defense do some work. Give them the opportunity. Yeah, LA's going to score some points on us, but our defensive line's in good shape. Our linebackers are great linebackers, and even our the fill-in defensive backs have played pretty well. I mean, so give the guys an opportunity to win. Take those points. So when we lose by 3, we can't look back at 3 or 4, 2 or 3 field goals we could have kicked that we never did. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think that comes down to Dan Campbell's decisions. And, I agree with you not doing stupid things. Don't give a short field to Matthew Stafford. And a short field could just be, their own 45-yard line.
At the same time, though, doesn't this feel like if the Rams are going to score touchdowns, you're not going to go on the road and win with field goals? I'm not saying I feel good about the fourth downs. They're not converting them as much as they did last year, but is it really a winning strategy?
I'm not saying fourth downs. I'm not saying field goals. I'm talking about punts.
Oh.
I'm talking about if you're at the 45 and it's 4th and 4, don't try and convert that one. Punt it down. Make Matthew Stafford go the length of the field. He may.
Yeah, I'm just saying, every game is a little different, and I've been saying, hey, you got to dial back the aggression. But in a game where it may be high scoring on the road,
every possession matters. Every score matters.
They might not have the luxury of dialing it back. If it's a shootout, your offense is going to have to play above themselves.
Yeah, if they kick a bunch of field goals and they lose by 3 points, I'm not thinking, oh, well, they did what they could and they stayed in the game. I'm thinking, man, if they would have gone for it and got one of those fourth downs and hit, they would have won the game.
This might be a week where you do have to play a little more reckless because you're an underdog, you're on the road, and they have a great offense. If this was a game you thought that was going to be played okay, Green Bay lost Tucker Kraft, and you thought, okay, this could be a lower scoring game.
24-21.
Yeah, that's maybe a game
this
where
is 30 plus.
Yeah. Let's get to Jerry in Heartland. Jerry, you're on 97.1.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Listen, so I've got a Monday morning headline for you. I can really see this as a bury who. Let's let that offensive line eat and get your popcorn ready. And if we can get a Jahmyr Gibbs show, 3-4 touchdowns, keep the ball out of the unsaid man's name on the other side. I think that could go a long, long way for us.
Well, I think you're spot on. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a huge game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I said, let that offensive line eat. They've been struggling in pass protection. Just let them go forward. Here.
Yeah.
Go.
if MVP wasn't a quarterback award, Jameer would have a much better case.
Sure.
I mean, the value that he brings to a team that's not getting as much push up front, yet he gets more than what's blocked.
Well, it's he gets more than what's blocked, but it's also the fact that, I mean, he might be classified as a top receiver.
Good point.
In this league.
Even the weeks where he doesn't lead the team in rushing, like last week, he was still 120 yards.
Yeah, all purpose. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's get to Joe in Grosse Ile. Joe, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. The Lions taking a quick sec, but I have to say I feel sorry for the innocent people in the Sharon Moore mess. They don't deserve that. As for the Lions, the story is, can they score 35 or more against a good defense? Because the Rams are going to score in the 30s, and they're capable of it, but they can't turn the ball over. They have to protect Goff, and you got to hang 35 on them because Stafford's going to put up 30 or more.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you because you look at the defenses that they played, and against the Jags, they scored 35. The Saints, 34. The Niners, 42. The Seahawks, we all talk about their defense and how good it is. They only scored 21, but they still came away with a win. 34 against the Bucs, 45 against the Cardinals. They lost that game at the Panthers because of those turnovers, and they only scored 28. But the one thing that people aren't talking about enough in that game is, yeah, it was cross-country and it was the turnovers, but it was the weather. Now, both teams are playing in the weather, but they just didn't handle it well. I don't think weather's going to be an issue in the Dome.
To his point, do you know how often the Rams have given up more than 30 points this season? The answer is twice. Both losses. Gave up 31 to the Panthers, gave up 33 to the Eagles. Did I miss one?
No. I'm how much when they gave up 31? Yeah.
30 or more points allowed, they're 0-2. Problem is they very rarely give up more than 30 points.
Right.
Most weeks, all but 2 weeks, they put a lid on offenses. It's 97-1.